And racing towards the first, Baltic, the leader from the Elia. Bobsline and Not His Ride. Slight mistake by Golden Friend at the first. And Baltic now from Not His Ride and Bobsline as they come to the second. And all safely over it. Voice of Progress over on the far rail. But Baltic the leader from Not His Ride, Voice of Progress and Bobsline, then Wealthy and the Elia and Rock Saint and Golden Friend. So they race to another plain fence. Baltic from Not His Ride, Voice of Progress, Bobsline, Wealthy, the Elia, this is the third. Rock Saint, the back marker. Swinging left-handed, uphill climb, Baltic from Not His Ride, Voice of Progress, Wealthy and Bobsline. Behind them, Golden Friend, the Elia and Rock Saint. And going a real good clip in this 16th running of the Arkle. Baltic from Not His Ride, Voice of Progress, Bobsline, mistake by Wealthy there. Then Golden Friend, the Elia and Rock Saint. Not His Ride, going up on the inside there of Baltic, Voice of Progress, third. At the next, Baltic, a slight mistake there, jumped a little bit right. Not His Ride going on now from Baltic, Voice of Progress and Bobsline as they come to the water. Number 6, Not His Ride from Baltic, Voice of Progress, Bobsline, Wealthy. Then comes Golden Friend, the Elia and Rock Saint. First of the two ditches now, Not His Ride in the lead, and a clear lead at the moment. Coming to another plain one, Not His Ride from Voice of Progress, Baltic and Bobsline at the 8th of the 12 fences in all. Not His Ride jumps it clear of Voice of Progress. Bobsline goes third, Baltic 4, Golden Friend 5. Racing towards the final ditch now. 4 from home, and it's Not His Ride in the lead, with now Bobsline going second, Voice of Progress third. These three a long way clear of the remainder. The final ditch, Not His Ride jumps it well from Bobsline second, third Voice of Progress, and Baltic a faller there. Baltic a bad mistake, unshipped his pilot there, so they're running downhill now with 3 fences left to jump in the 16th running of the Arkle Trophy, and it's Not His Ride for England, Bobsline for Ireland, Voice of Progress for England chasing these two, and then a long gap to the Elia as they come down to the third last fence. Neil Doughty now from Frank Berry, then Peter Scudamore quite close on Voice of Progress as they come to the third last. And Not His Ride in the lead. Voice of Progress on the far side, Bobsline on the near side, racing towards the second last fence now, and it's Not His Ride from Voice of Progress and Bobsline. Coming to the second last fence in the Arkle, Not His Ride from Voice of Progress and Bobsline. Not His Ride lands in the lead, Bobsline second on the inside, then Voice of Progress, and here comes Frank Berry to try and challenge Neil Doughty now as they come to the final obstacle in the Arkle, and it's Not His Ride on the far side, Bobsline on the near side. Bobsline with his white face showing just marginally in the lead on the near side, Neil Doughty on the far side, and there it was just Bobsline from Not His Ride as they race into the closing stages. It's Bobsline on the near side, Not His Ride on the far side. Bobsline on the near side is going to win it. And this is another in the Arkle for Ireland. Bobsline is the winner of the Arkle. Second is Not His Ride. And third is Voice of Progress. Fourth will be the Elia. Fifth, Golden Friend. Sixth, Rock Saint. And 7, Wealthy. And so the result of the Arkle, first number 1, Bobsline, owned by Mr. R.H. Kelsey, trained by Francis Flood in Ireland and ridden by 7 times Irish champion Frank Berry. Second was number 6, Not His Ride, owned by Mr. P. Hinchcliffe, trained by Gordon Richards and ridden by Neil Doughty. And third, number 9, Voice of Progress, owned by Mr. Mark Vesti, trained by David Nicholson and ridden by Peter Scudamore. Fourth was number 8, the Elia. Well, here is Not His Ride on the inside of the winner, Bobsline, who's defended his unbeaten record to complete a nap hand, his 5th in a row over fences in that many efforts. Here's how he won it, reviewed by Richard.
And this is how we expected it to go. These three were rather superior to the rest of them. Not His Ride had made the running and jumped spectacularly as they come down the hill. This can be the tricky one. And Frank Berry going for his stick there. For a moment I thought I might have backed a winner, but it certainly was living up to everything we expected. Back in third place, Peter Schoonermore on Mark Vestey's Voice of Progress, running a far better race than he had when beaten by Rock Saint. But here, going to the last, well, who is going to win? It's anybody's guess. Frank Berry, who now has got the ride for auction in the champion hurdle, coming to the last, and he who jumps the last, it could make the difference. In fact, they jumped it stride for stride, and it's this long hill is going to sort the difference out. Neil Doughty first to get his bat out, and at this stage it's neck and neck, isn't it? But with Bobsline, who sometimes over hurdles was slightly indifferent, is proving to be the most consistent novice chaser in training today, and he's won a thrilling race. But he's taken nothing away from Not His Ride in defeat. It was a superb Arkle. The Bobsline, the winner, 5-4 favourite.